Well, hey, everybody. Hope you're having a good week. Good to see you guys again as we're grateful. Thank you for the opportunity that you as a church give to us as a family to get away and take time away from church and get a vacation. And so the Quades were able to get away to Florida, like plenty of other people here in the Lakeland area. My kids, those of you that have kids or grandkids with Snapchat and their Snap maps that show where all of their friends are, it was amazing to see how many people that they go to high school with that were somewhere around the state of Florida or down in the southeast part of the United States. So anyway, we're thankful that we could go, but I do want to talk briefly about that. And vacation time is something that our family cherishes. If you've been in my office, you see my wall that's got all kinds of different pictures from trips and stadiums that we've been to. And yes, we did go to a couple more of those. You can ask me about that sometime. But vacations can be kind of bittersweet. They are a lot of time together, a lot of planning that has to happen. And then you get home and you're like, what just happened? Our vacation is all over. What's next, right? And as I said, it's a lot of time together. That's kind of one of the biggest things for me. And as you know, we drive to our vacations. So 2 days down fully together, 2 days back fully together. While you're there on vacation, we're eating pretty much all of our meals together. We go to the pool together. We sit in the hotel room together and watch a basketball game. Or there's just a lot of time together. And that can be really good, and most of the time is, but it also kind of exposes our warts, so to speak, right? It gets all the annoyances that we have with one another. It shows our faults. It shows our shortcomings. It makes us tend to be a little bit shorter with one another, maybe not as kind, but certainly we laugh with and at each other sometimes. That time together just does something. And in our kids, I remember having a conversation or two as we maybe went too far with a few things as far as humor is concerned or as far as our kindness is concerned. And I just talked to my kids to remind them about their brothers and sisters, that though they may not believe it all the way now, there is something special about that relationship as brothers and sisters that will be lifelong, almost always. That blood connection that we have that just says, this person is for me, and I am for this person. And so we are able to have that conversation. And ironically, that's where the text was last week that Pastor Rick nailed for the sermon from Hebrews chapter 13. I'm just going to read this one verse and we'll talk about it briefly. And that is, he says, keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters. Those are two pretty intentional words, brothers and sisters. As I mentioned earlier with my kids, brother and sister is something that is permanent. It's a lifelong relationship. It's a benefit of the doubt kind of relationship. It's someone who you know is going to be there for you. And so the writer here reminds us of that's what it means to love one another in the Christian church, in our circles, in this body here at Faith Evangelical Free Church. In our small groups, great video that Pastor Steve put together of one of our growth groups up in Manitowish, Boulder area. But I hope you heard that video about the bonds that those folks are gaining through their time together. And maybe you're in a growth group somewhere. But there's something about us understanding how love works as brothers and sisters in the church. As Rick said, love in the church, loving like a brother and sister, covers over a multitude of sins. Loving like a brother or sister willingly confronts when we have a problem. Love like a brother or sister protects and defends. And so I ask you, how are you doing with that? The people that you interact with or sit near if you come here on a Sunday, do you see them as brothers and sisters? Or are they just people that you see once a week or so? that you say hello to, you do your highs and goodbyes with? Or are there people that you're willing to pour into, that you're willing to give the benefit of the doubt, that you're willing to lovingly confront? Because that's what the Bible tells us very clearly that a Christian relationship looks like, what Christian love looks like. And so, people of Faith Church, I just encourage us to continue to grow in love for one another, that we will forgive one another's shortcomings because we see the long view of the relationships that we have here, whether you've been here for a few months or for 50 years. We're in this together. Let's love one another as brothers and sisters in Christ. Until we see you again, have a great week.